Why would a person voluntarily call herself the most hated woman in America? It could have something to do with the 30 aliases she's reportedly used, some 9 different social security numbers, and 14 husbands, as you found out, Chris.
That's right. They say she serenaded them with karaoke and hard luck stories, then stole their hearts and bank accounts. But there's something else they say she took, something you can't put a price on. The 9 children she had with some of them.
My name is Corey Wynn. I'm Rodney Wegg.
Jeffrey Dedeker. Shane Cheeseman.
These men have become a unique band of brothers. Military men trained to protect our country from the fiercest enemies abroad. But their bond comes from what happened to them here at home, where as young servicemen they say they faced a surprise adversary, one that all their armor couldn't defend against.
Bobbi Ann is inherently evil. She's heartless, cold-hearted.
She is the devil.
Each of these men say they fell prey to the same woman they call a domestic terrorist of the heart.
Bobbi is definitely a woman without a conscience.
She's pretty much destroyed, my finances, my life.
Bobbi stole my dignity.
I don't think it'll ever stop.
Her alleged trail of broken hearts and empty bank accounts spans nearly 2 decades. So brazen, say the victims, that catching Bobbi Ann Finley has become one woman's obsession.
Con artist, professional, intelligent. I don't think she's mental. I think she knows exactly what she's doing.
Former Lance Corporal Corey Wynn says he learned that lesson the hard way. He says as soon as he met Bobbi Ann, she impressed him with her trademark seduction. It happened back in 2004 when he was just a 21-year-old Marine based in Southern California. He remembers Bobbi Ann coming on strong at a Denny's restaurant with a story of her rich military pedigree.
When she starts out, it's like, I'm the daughter of General Zinni.
That's right, Anthony Zinni, the retired 4-star general. Corey says Bobbi Ann also tells him she's estranged from her parents and that her sister was murdered by the Green River serial killer. And there was more.
She tells me she's pregnant from a rape. She didn't believe in abortion. She wanted to keep the baby, things like that. And I'm feeling a lot of sympathy for her and stuff like this.
And Bobbi Ann doesn't just say she's famous. She also claims she's rich. Corey says she tells him her grandfather was an heir to the Wrangler jean fortune and left her $750,000 in his will. But there's a catch. She needs to be married by her 29th birthday, which is just months away.
She tells me that there's a way I could help her out with all this stuff, by getting married.
Her apparent sincerity wins him over.
I really started to care for her, deeply. I was the rescuer. I was trying to help somebody in a really bad situation. She played on that really well.
They marry after just 2 weeks and open a bank account together.
I just thought it was one of those things that you did. I just, that when you got married, you got to share a checking account.
But within days, he says, Bobbi Ann goes on a spending spree, cleaning out all his cash.
I would see bounce checks here and here and here, and I'm starting to get a lot of negative hits on my account, on our account that we had.
Corey says Bobbi Ann reassures him that her sizable inheritance would more than cover the financial damage she'd done, and he believes her.
It's like, okay, we're gonna have a family, we're gonna have a nice place because she's supposed to get some money.
Little did Corey know he was not alone. Just 5 months earlier and 1,300 miles away in Texas, former Army reservist Rodney Wegg had also fallen for a charming, down-to-earth gal with a tale of fortune and woe. Wegg was a medic stationed at Fort Sam Houston when one night at a San Antonio karaoke bar, he was introduced to a big-voiced Bobbi Ann Finley.
She was a fun person. She had a line for everything. She's real witty, real funny, bubbly personality, somebody you like to be around.
Rodney says he fell for a different version of Bobbi Ann's hard luck story. This time, she was a divorced mother whose ex-husband kidnapped her children. On top of that, she was doting and vulnerable and tells Rodney he's the man of her dreams.
She would come over and she would, make these lavish meals, cook all this food, clean, the perfect little good housekeeping housewife.
Just 2 weeks after they meet, Rodney introduces his new girlfriend to his parents. Katie Wegg is Rodney's mother, And right from the start, she is not impressed.
I just didn't trust her. I don't know what it was. I have to say, my son believed her. My ex-husband believed her. They both thought I was being, I guess paranoid.
So she starts to quiz Bobbi Ann.
I said, well, have you been married before? Well, yes, once. Well, do you have any children? Yes, I have 2. Well, where are your children? Oh, well, my ex-husband, he went AWOL from the Navy, and he kidnapped my kids. And I'm like, oh, really?
She didn't seem like damaged by it at all.
No. And I said, then why aren't you in Washington State looking for your kids? Oh, the Navy's looking for my kids. There's no point in me, staying there. I just need to get on with my life. That bothered me, and so I started quizzing her more and more.
Is Rodney uncomfortable, like his mom is going at it with his girlfriend?
He didn't really say anything. He just kind of sat there kind of quiet. And all of a sudden she goes, well, I think we're going to get married July 4th. And I looked at him and I went, you're getting married July 4th?
They say Bobbi Ann then plays the pregnancy card. It would be her classic MO.
She's like, well, I'm pregnant. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, we barely, we haven't been with each other but 2 weeks.
And yet he too is soon on the marriage path. Bobbi Ann starts planning the wedding, shopping for flowers, meeting with photographers, even tasting wedding cakes. But Rodney soon notices money is missing from his bank account.
So she was like, oh, well, the tux place, I had to go and put some money down on the tuxes. And she's like, I'll get it back. I'll just go tomorrow and I'll get it back. I told her, I was like, you need to get this money. You need to get this fixed.
He said, well, Mom, I have no money. And I went, how do you have no money? He goes, Mom, she wrote checks on my account.
Bobbi Ann had duped Rodney, but hadn't counted on Katie Wegg. The marriage was off, and for Katie, the hunt was on.
I wasn't sure who she was because she's writing all these hot checks, and why is she doing this, and where'd she come from?
Bobbi Ann Finley has just met her arch enemy, a mom on a mission scouring the internet and the country, unraveling what she says is an unimaginable trail of deception.